Located on 225 acres in Garden City, Long Island, Nassau Community College, a member of the State University of New York system, has close to 20,000 students attend the school each year. The college mascot is Leo the Lion, and these are his stories of the school's absolute best and brightest who have graduated over the past 50-plus years. So let's catch up together as the Alumni Association of Nassau Community College proudly presents Lion Tales on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Welcome to Lion Tales, powered by the Nassau Community College Foundation. My name is Aurora Workman. I am president of the Nassau Community College Alumni Association. I'm here with my friend and co-host, Dr. Lynnda Nadien, a proud graduate of Nassau Community College. And together, we'll share stories that will inspire, uplift, and often amuse you.
Each week, Aurora and I will introduce you to alumni of Nassau Community College interested in sharing their experiences while attending the college and the secrets to their success.
On behalf of the Alumni Association, we are excited to continue our work into the new year 2020. We welcome all alum to check out our web pages, visit the college for some great events, and just say hello to fellow alum.
Look for many new and exciting events on the Alumni Association social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, and our web pages at ncc.edu/alumni. If you, our listening audience, has any positive news you would like to share about alumni happenings, we would love to hear from you as well. So email us at ncc.edu/alumni.
Today's guest is Jacob Valk, who started his career at WHPC in June of 2016. He was one of the first students hired here. Jacob, as under our new director, that is, Jacob began a radio career here, including his first show entitled Beyond the Game, a sports talk show that was a very popular podcast at the radio station. Jacob graduated in 2018 and is now pursuing a bachelor's in science in sportscasting at Full Sail University and is the host of the sports talk podcast, The Jacob Valk Show. Welcome to Lion Tales, Jacob Valk, class of 2018.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome.
We always ask our guests, how did you get to Nassau?
Well, I was homeschooled for most of my high school career, and here at NCC you can do something called high school enrichment, which is where you can take classes for high school and college credit. So it just got to the point where I didn't want to be in the house anymore. I wanted to see a different set of walls. So I figured high school enrichment was a way to get out there and meet new people, and I wanted to go here anyway, so I figured might as well get a head start on things.
Well, that's interesting, coming from a homeschooled environment to Nassau Community College, which bridges all the gaps in all the communities.
Right.
How was that experience?
Well, I didn't like not being able to go to school in my pajamas anymore.
That's true.
Although I was able to take sick days.
Every day was pajama day. That's okay.
It was great. I had a great time here, made a lot of friends I still keep in contact with. I wouldn't trade it for anything.
No, and so what were some of the favorite courses that you had at that time when you started?
Ooh, my favorite one was probably History of Sports in America.
Oh, that sounds like an interesting one.
Yeah, taught by Ronald Consolo. I really liked him.
That sounds like a baseball name.
And is that out of what division of the?
That was history.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, history, if I remember correctly, 190. I don't know how I remember that.
Oh.
History here has so many great courses. I remember taking the history of rock and roll.
I took that.
You took that? Isn't that was like...
That is
the best
one of my
class
favorite
ever.
Courses. Love that course.
Yeah. So, and it's amazing because of some of our listening audiences, when they think about colleges and they think about, oh, well, you're going to come and you're going to have to take a history course, they don't know the vast and the variety of history courses that you can take. And so when I saw that, I thought, oh, well, I'm going to show them. I'm going to take rock and roll. I thought it was something that I was doing to get over on them. And it turned out to be really entailed. It was informative. I learned so much. And, the classes here are just great.
Yeah, I remember Jeffrey Fox was my professor, and he was great. He used a lot of hand signals. You had to repeat his hand signals exactly. And it's like, Professor, I'm not taking mime. I'm taking history of rock and roll here. Right. You know, I'm not going to memorize hand signals for you. Sorry, that's not going to happen.
So describe your approach to radio and how you transferred some of your skills that you did learn at WHPC to work in radio today.
Well, that's a good question. I would say my approach is to be knowledgeable, assertive, and smart. You know, you obviously want to come off like you know what you're talking about. And, you know, the last thing on earth you want to say is Derek Jeter is the starting catcher for the New York Mets. It's like, well, wait a second. What did that guy just say?
Or Derek Jeter made a touchdown.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Derek Jeter was elected unanimously to the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Derek Jeter, Love 9, whatever they do in tennis, which I don't even know.
You're absolutely right.
You obviously got to know what you're talking about there. And, you know, you want to be forceful with how you say it. You don't want to be a pushover. You want to let people know that this is my view and you should follow it. When you're on air, you're not convincing your co-host. Your co-hosts are set in their ways and they're not going to change for anything. It's up to you to change the person on the other side of the microphone, the person in their car driving, and have that person think to him or herself, yeah, you know what? This guy's making a lot of sense here.
Yeah. When did you realize that you had a passion for radio and broadcasting?
Well, it was something I always wanted to do ever since I was a little kid. I mean, I grew up listening to Don Imus and Mike and the Mad Dog on WFAN. And when I first started here at the college, I had no idea that we had a radio station. It wasn't until one day I was at a previous job of mine, and one day I was, you know, not having a good day there, so I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to look and see if Nassau Community College has a radio station, just on a whim. And sure enough, WHPC popped up. I sent the program director an email, and it took him 2 weeks to get back to me, but eventually he got back to me. And I was having a really bad morning that day, and I remember immediately going from 0 to 60. I had to immediately go from feeling sorry to myself to, okay, I have to get dressed in a suit, I have to shower, and I have to go down for an interview. And one of the first things that Sean, the program director, said to me was, I'd basically be an idiot not to hire you. Hand to God, that's what he said.
Wow. Wonderful. And so your career began from that point.
Yeah. Oh, I loved it. You know, it was something that I had always been really passionate about, and the fact that I was able to do it so quickly, I got on the air very quickly. You know, I remember starting off on the home stretch, and Anthony Tardamella was the host. So, you know,
we'll get back to that. And you are listening to Lion Tales on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm Aurora Workman, along with Dr. Lynnda Nadien, and our guest today is Jacob Valk, a proud graduate of NCC, an alum of the college, and alum of WHPC. Currently, Jacob is a video editor and works with the biggest names in sports radio. So you were telling us about your beginnings here at Nassau Community College and how the radio station kind of helped launch your career?
Yeah, so I started out doing the home stretch with Anthony Tardamella, and it was on Tuesdays at 9 p.m., and I remember it was 10 o'clock at night, and Anthony turned to me, or maybe it was Seth, one of the two, and they said, someone has to do an update at the top of the hour. Jacob, do you want to do it? Okay, sure. So grabbed my phone, wrote some stuff down, and immediately, you know, did the update. And after that, everyone stood up and applauded. They were really impressed. I know that Anthony, after the fact, sent Sean an email saying, you know, Jacob said that he had no experience behind the microphone, but there's no way that I can believe him. He was really good behind the air, or behind the mic, I should say. And it just went from there. I did Sports Talk with Chris Muldoon for a little bit. And eventually, Beyond the Game got launched, and it was the first show that was launched by the current program director, and it's the only show that he didn't have someone write a formal demo for.
Okay.
So you did all your writing?
Yeah.
Wonderful. So what are some of your influences in sports radio?
Certainly Mike and the Mad Dog.
I love Mike and the Mad Dog.
Oh, who doesn't? I was fortunate enough to meet Chris Russo and work for Mike Francesa. So just getting to pick their brains for a little bit and watch them do what they do was really, really something that I can't even put into words. It was so meaningful to me, so impactful to me. And Joe and Evan, I really like Moose and Maggie, the midday show. Those guys are probably my favorites, I would say.
And so when you're thinking forward as a sportscaster, as a sports radio, having your own show, what will make you different from the rest?
Probably just the fact that there's no one my age, I'm 22 years old, there's no one who appreciates the history of sports like me. On my podcast, The Jacob Valk Show, I do This Day in Sports History, and I've done some as recent as this past decade, the 20-teens, and I've also done one on Charlie Gehringer, who was a second baseman for the Tigers in the 1930s. It's like, wait a minute, what millennial knows who Charlie Gehringer is? So, you want to be able to relate to the younger audience, hey, this happened, this is important, this is why you should care about it.
Right.
And history is a great teacher. If we don't remember history, we're doomed to repeat it.
Exactly.
Yeah, how do you think the younger generation perceives, let's just say baseball, for example? I mean, content knowledge is one thing, and knowing a lot of the history is really important, and you can talk to a lot of different people about it. But I wonder with the younger kids, they all play ball, but I wonder if they really have that, deep soul for baseball and the history of it.
Baseball is a dying sport for millennials and children. It breaks my heart when I look around Yankee Stadium and I don't see a lot of fathers and sons, or moms and sons, moms and daughters, fathers and daughters, what have you. Some of my favorite memories are going to the old Yankee Stadium on 161st and River, and I guess it's still on 161st and River, 157th.
Well, the
River.
Parking garage is there.
Well,
$35.
Yes, please. Those are some of my favorite memories, and I feel like that's being lost. It's a great parent-child bonding experience to go to a ball game, and you can just sit there for a few hours and talk about life and just forget your troubles for a little bit.
You are listening to Lion Tales. Today's guest is Jacob Valk, a sports radio broadcaster and video content editor, currently pursuing his BS in sportscasting from Full Sail University.
90.3 WHPC reminds you that shelter pets are amazing pets, and the only way to find out how truly amazing they are is to meet one.
So visit theshelterpetproject.org today and adopt. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, the Ad Council, and the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Welcome back to Lion Tales, powered by the Nassau Community College Foundation, on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm your host, Dr. Lynnda Nadien, along with Aurora Workman. Our guest today is Jacob Valk. So we were talking a little bit about WFAN. So tell us about working with Mike Francesa.
How much time do you have?
Not that much, but we'll take whatever we can get.
It was great. I had a great time working on the app. The way that I got in contact with Mike, I think, is a lesson that a lot of people can take from. I just sent him a letter. I sent him a snail mail letter, and I said, hey, look, I just graduated. I know you're launching the app. I want a job, and I want to work for the app. And I landed in Las Vegas in late June of 2018, and I get a text from his producer, and it's introducing himself, and it says, come down for an interview. And sure enough, I come down for an interview. Mike and I talk. Evidently, I said something that he liked, and I got the job.
Wonderful.
That's awesome.
Now tell us a little more about the app.
Oh, God. It was a lot of fun. It was everything Mike Francesa. You had his opinions on anything and everything in the world of sports. Baseball, football, basketball, golf, horse racing. We had a bunch of contributors on there like Brian Monzo, John Schmelk, Ira Winderman, Eichen Hoff, John Jastrzemski. And you also had Ed Coleman's picks for baseball and hockey. It was a lot of fun. I really liked it. The biggest misconception about the app is that it was not successful. No, it was successful. Radio.com would not have purchased it if it didn't make money. It was successful. It was a very profitable venture. I had a great time doing it. And now I'm on to bigger and better things.
Yeah, and so the perspective of what, podcasts being important, they really are an important aspect of radio. And what does the future of that podcasting look like from your perspective?
I would say it's probably more location-based. Like if you're going to, let's say, Yankee Stadium for a game, you're going to, you may want to listen to a Yankees podcast along the way if you're not.
Right, a lot of people do that during the game. They listen while they're watching.
Exactly. Or if you're going to Citi Field and you're not a Mets fan, you may want to listen to a Mets fans podcast and get a little bit of a new perspective on things. Even for news, for local news, I think that's a great output for it. So I really think it's location-based. I think that's the future of podcasting.
Yeah. And as far as having an app, an app is so convenient because once you have that, you can just pretty much tap in and listen and learn from that. So what about building more apps? Is that something that you would consider doing?
Well, it takes a lot of time and effort, and you need the money to do it. You need to have the content to do it. The great thing about the Mike's On app was its immediacy. And I remember when Odell Beckham was traded from the Giants to the Browns, immediately, and I mean immediately, Mike got behind the microphone and went on live on the app, breaking down the Beckham trade. And I had texted Anthony, who was the lead video editor on the app. He was going home from Mike's house to his house. He was on the train. And I texted him, hey, did you have to double back to Mike's house? And he said, no, I was able to do it just based on my computer. And it's like, wait a minute, we could do that? That's really cool.
Yeah, that is great. It's immediate feedback.
No question.
Waiting around. So now that you're in the program at Full Sail University, what do you hope to accomplish upon completion of your degree?
Well, I really want to host a sports talk radio show. I hope that after completing the program, I'll gain the necessary tools and develop a professional portfolio that would make radio program directors want to hire me. The program was designed by Dan Patrick, and there's no one who knows more about breaking into sports media than Dan Patrick. I mean, if he says something, you better listen to it. It's like gospel.
And what have you been learning? That let's say you maybe learned at WHPC, but now you're in another program. Are there similarities or differences? What do you think is the pulse there?
It's not very similar. This is very focused on radio in general, all facets of radio, talk radio, music radio, news radio, what have you. And the sportscasting program is wholly dedicated to sportscasting. So you have to know the different terms for putting a sports show together, like cut sheets or shot sheets. It's like, wait a minute, what is that? I have absolutely no idea what that is. So it was a new experience going to Full Sail and learning these terms, but I'm proud to say that I have a standing 90-something currently at Full Sail.
Okay, great.
You're listening to Lion Tales on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. My name is Aurora Workman, along with Dr. Lynnda Nadien, and our guest today is Jacob Valk, a video editor for the Mics On app. Jacob has worked with some big names in sports broadcasting and is pursuing his bachelor's in sportscasting at Full Sail University. So when there are a lot of things that are new and innovative out there in the world of media and communications. Which part of one, you have a podcast?
Yes,
that's a brilliant thing, and it would not have been heard of probably even 10 years ago.
Oh, no question. It's exploded onto the scene. Podcasting is really, I hate to sound so cliche, but where it's at. I remember when I was a student here, Mark Ernay and Pete McCarthy spoke to a bunch of these students here, and I asked the question, what advice would you give to someone looking to break into the business? And he said, it was Pete McCarthy that said, start a podcast. It's a great way to get out there and get your voice heard. If nothing else, it's practice for you. When you get behind the mic, you can make mistakes. It's okay if when you're podcasting you misspeak. You can edit it out later. God knows that's happened to me.
How would someone do that? Let's say after we're done with the show, I decide that I wanted to do a podcast about a particular topic. Would I just record myself on my phone? Would I write a script? What would I do?
I don't write a script. I would not encourage people to write scripts. When you write scripts and read off a script, you just sound, I hate to say it, you sound scripted. You sound like a robot. It doesn't sound like you really know what you're talking about. Now, you should write notes for yourself.
Right.
If there are certain points that you want to hit on a topic, write it down and make sure that you don't forget them. But really, all it takes to record a podcast is an audio recording software, whether it's Adobe Audition or Pro Tools. You got to buy a microphone that can hook into your computer, and you need a podcasting distribution system. Other than that, really anyone can do it. It does take a lot of time. It does take a lot of money. It's not something that you can just...
Right, it sounds like building a web page and, organizing that and doing the layout and then uploading it.
Right, exactly. It's not something that you want to just half-ass. You want to you want to do it all in. The last thing you want to do is not come off prepared.
Right.
Because you're going up against people like Joe Rogan and Adam Carolla, some of the biggest podcasters in the world, Don Cherry. Well, wait a minute. Why shouldn't I listen to them? Why should I listen to you? And you should listen to you or me or whoever, because hopefully you enjoy the content. And you're not going to enjoy the content unless the host is putting in the work.
Yeah, and people from all over the country are really intrigued by these different podcasts, and then sometimes they even upload your show again so that other people can hear it in different parts of the country. So that happens a lot here, where our shows are streamed. Exactly. That's amazing.
Nothing better than that.
Let's talk a little bit about baseball cards.
Okay.
And
you used to collect those as a kid?
Yeah. So what are some of your who are your favorite players and any cards that you have that you love?
All time? Or?
Yeah, all time and,
All
lately.
time, my favorite player is Whitey Ford, former Yankees starter.
Yeah.
Do I have a baseball card of his? I don't think I do. The cards that I currently have are Mike Trout, Gleyber Torres.
Oh, yeah.
Pete Alonso I actually have.
The Mike Trout card, I think, was one of a chaser card. It was hard to get that, right? I know I have that.
I bought it on an auction site.
Yeah.
So I wasn't opening packs, and
I love to open
So you're a
the
true
packs.
collector.
Yes, exactly.
Do you eat the gum? I eat the gum. I was the one they did have gum. Now they can't have gum in there.
I know. I used to eat the gum, although sometimes if I'm...
Why can't they have gum?
Who knows? It's going to give people
That's
cavities.
my favorite part.
Some kids
The
choked
gum's
on
the
it
best
once.
part.
I remember opening up old boxes of cards that were sitting in my garage, and the gum is like really stale. It's
Yeah.
like, Jacob, don't eat this. Jacob, don't eat this.
I
Yeah,
have some
no,
sealed packs
I
with
know.
the gum. I probably could eat the gum. I'm sure it would be fine. And so your favorite overall team?
Yankees.
Of course, yeah.
Yay.
Yankees, yes. And so with all the controversy surrounding the scandal with the signs and all of that, how do you feel that will affect baseball season beginning?
Oh, wow. It's really going to be tough for the Astros, Red Sox, and Mets. They're not going to be able to escape this stigma all year, really. I mean, even in September, they're not going to be able to escape it because the Astros play the Yankees. A team like the Astros, yeah, they have a really, really good core that didn't need sign stealing to be successful, and they probably won't suffer as much. But a team like the Red Sox or the Mets, they're going to struggle to overcome this. The Mets are now on their second manager this year.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unreal. I thought it was
Luis
terrible.
Rojas.
Yeah. Oh, boy, oh, boy.
Who do you think will take over for the Red Sox now that Alex Cordera's out?
Ooh. I'm not
Big
sure.
Papi?
I'm not sure who's going to take over for Cora. It's a very appealing job. It's one of the biggest media markets in baseball.
Yeah.
And while I realize the Red Sox are in a little bit of a payroll crunch right now, they may trade Mookie Betts or they may let him walk.
Oh, yeah.
It's still an appealing job. You still want to
I would do
manage
it.
the Red Sox. Yeah.
Well, we've had a great time speaking with our guest today, Jacob Valk, class of 2018. He is going to be a wonderful sports broadcaster, so listen out. Jacob, how can people listen to your podcast?
It's available wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search for The Jacob Valk Show. Also, the link is in my Twitter description, @RealJacobValk.
Great. We want to thank you for being with us. My name is Dr. Lynnda Nadien, along with my fabulous friend Aurora Workman, president of the Nassau Community College Alumni Association. This show is a production of the Nassau Community College Alumni Association. Visit ncc.edu/WHPC for more information. Available as a podcast on iTunes, Android Podcasts, and Spreaker. Lion Tales is powered by the Nassau Community College Foundation. On the voice of Nassau Community College 90.3 WHPC. We'll talk to you next week.